She felt a piercing pain in her head, like someone had hit her on the back of the head with a hammer. She opened her eyes, albeit slowly. The small amount of sun peering down from above the alleyway she was in kept her squinting. Where am I? She asked herself. She didn't remember much, something about meeting up with some friends and disobeying her parents. She stood up and got a look at her surroundings. She was in an alleyway, between two brightly colored buildings. The alleyway was empty, save for a dumpster. She peeked out of the alley. There were more tall, brightly colored buildings, but no people. There were plenty of cars, but they went by too fast to see anyone inside of them, plus nearly all of them had no side windows. She stepped out of the alleyway and looked around. She saw someone walking towards her. At least, she thought it was a person. It was hard to tell. She waved to the potential person, but they didn't wave back. They just stood there, a bit confused. They ran up to Spring. Spring took this as an opportunity to introduce herself. "Hi, my name's..." The stranger cut her off. "You have got to get a helmet on. Your skin is gonna burn." "What? No, it's not. It's not even that bright out, and I've never even got a sunburn before, so I should be fine." "What are you talking about? Just get in that alley and I'll find something to cover your face." "Dude, I'm fine." The stranger looked back up at Spring. "Huh, you really aren't burning. How?" "What do you mean, how? That's just how skin works. At least, it does where I'm from. Actually, I have a question. Where am I?" You're in Ohio. How do you forget what state you're in?" Spring was a bit confused. Ohio isn't a state, but then it clicked. "Oh, you mean Ohio..." "Shh! Don't say that name, you'll get us both arrested. Come on, put on this mask and walk with me to my apartment. We can talk more about this there." The stranger handed her something looking like a ski mask. Okay. She began walking with this absolute stranger. Spring walked alongside this stranger and decided to make small talk. "So, what's your name, stranger?" "Well, my name is..." Right as the stranger was about to say their name, a very loud truck passed by and stopped Spring from hearing it. "But my friends call me Double M." "Double M is a weird nickname." "Oh yeah? What's your name?" "Spring." "What kind of a name is Spring? Wait, like the spring season or the springy metal thing?" "Neither. Spring is a name, just like yours is, I think." "I'm not so sure it is, but it doesn't matter. We're here." They walked into the apartment building. "So you're telling me that in the year 2561, about 300 years ago, there was a grand nuclear war dividing the world, and the state of Ohio decided to take that as an opportunity to take over the United States and alter the pronunciation of all the state names, and now somehow because of that people are no longer able to touch the sun?" "Yeah, that sums it up pretty well. At least that's what I remember from history class." "That's crazy! And it was just 2018 earlier. I can't have just time traveled. Unless..." Spring thought back, trying as hard as she could to remember how she got here. She remembered the box and the portal. "Oh, wait, I totally time traveled." "I feel like that's crazier than my history lesson." "I mean, it's just insane! What have future humans done? What have you accomplished? Have you colonized Mars or something?" "No way we would colonize Mars. There's already humans there. Us humans of the USO would never take land already owned by other humans. That's not what this country stands for." Spring debated giving the stranger a real history lesson, but decided against it. "So you got any ideas on how to get me home?" "Your best bet would to get help at the White Tower with the government." "Alright, can you take me there?" "Sure, but you can't go outside with your skin exposed. People will stare. Here." The stranger walked over to her closet and took out a very beaten-up helmet similar to their own. "You can wear my old helmet till we get there." She gave it to Spring. "Wow, cool. Thanks." Here we are, the White Tower. It looks like the White House with an apartment building on top of it. What's a White House? Unimportant. How do we get inside? Just walk in. The stranger walked right through the gates and inside, where there was a secretary at a front desk. They walked up to the secretary. "Hello, I have a friend with me who's impervious to sun damage." The secretary spoke up. "Ninth one this week. Down your hall to the left, there's a staircase. Walk down it, talk to the government scientists, and hope you didn't just lie to me." The two followed her directions and walked down the stairs, through a dimly lit concrete hall, and opened the door at the end of it. Hello there, do you have a scientific discovery to show us, or is this an assassination attempt? They were both taken aback by this, but the stranger spoke up. The first one. My friend here can touch the sun without being burnt. Let's put that to the test, shall we? The stranger walked over to a lamp. Name's Epsilon, by the way. He turned on the lamp. This lamp simulates sunlight. If you're telling the truth, their skin shouldn't burn. If you're lying, let's just say you're gonna wish you were being burnt by the sun. Spring was a bit scared by this, but still put her hand under the lamp, and to Epsilon's surprise, nothing happened. Oh my gosh! I can't believe this! Epsilon, get over here! A second scientist appeared behind him. What is it? This person's skin isn't burning. Interesting. Let's take a sample and test his chemical makeup. Without asking, Epsilon took a scalpel and cut off a small piece of Spring's skin. Not enough to do any real damage, but enough for her to wince at the pain. He took the skin sample and placed it into a small machine that analyzed his chemical makeup and displayed it on a large screen in front of them. Epsilon scrolled through his results for a bit before stopping. Your skin has melanin in it. Yeah, it does. Ours does not. That's the only difference I'm seeing here. You got any ideas for what to do with this information, Epsilon? Epsilon turned to Epsilon, only to see that he was already hard at work on something. Epsilon decided to join him. We believe this, when put on someone's skin, will deflect all the sun rays from someone's skin for the rest of their lifetime. The stranger seemed enthused by this. Can I try? The scientists were a bit taken aback by the enthusiasm, but agreed. The stranger rubbed the lotion on their face and put it under the light. No burns. The scientists were excited and the stranger even more so. Can I use this on the rest of me? The stranger asked. Knock yourself out, Epsilon replied, still not having entirely grasped the situation. Epsilon went up to Spring. Well, you've helped us. It's only fair that now we pay you back somehow. Got a request? Well, you see, I need to get back home, and I think my home might be in the past. Not sure, but it might be. Epsilon leaned to Spring's ear and whispered. Go into the room adjacent to this one. Under a floor panel in the back left corner, you should find what you're looking for. And take your friend in there too. Say goodbye and such. Spring nodded to Epsilon and brought the stranger into the room with her. They were both in awe of the room. Wall to wall, all you could see were scientific inventions. Some small, some slightly less small. It was not a very large room. Spring resisted the urge to mess with anything, but the stranger couldn't. She grabbed what looked like a laser blaster and shot herself with it. She disappeared, taking the small machine with her. So much for saying goodbye, Spring muttered under her breath. She couldn't be that sad. She had only known that person a day, and didn't even get their real name, but it was sad to see them go. Nonetheless, she walked over to the back left corner. A panel on the floor was loose, and she pulled it up. Sure enough, underneath the tile was a time machine. Like the ones in the movies, it had a time and date selector on the side. She picked the time she left, overshooting a bit to make sure to avoid any encounters with herself and cause a time paradox or something. She didn't know exactly how it worked, but it looked a lot like the blaster the stranger used, so she used it that way. Time to wake myself up, she said, still unsure if this was real or not. Sure enough, it worked. She was home. The blaster didn't come with her, but that was fine. And maybe the stranger was too. She wanted to tell all her friends about it, but she would just have to wait until they arrived. She sat down and waited.